Senate bombshell just dropped, and it's pointing fingers at the very agency that was supposed to guard the life of the 47th President of the United States. According to a newly released report from the Senate Homeland Security and Governmental Affairs Committee, the Secret Service failed to prevent a near-deadly assassination attempt on Donald J. Trump during a campaign rally in Butler, Pennsylvania in 2024, a failure that could have rewritten the course of American history. Here's what the report reveals. Critical warnings from local law enforcement were brushed aside. Requests for rooftop surveillance and drone support were denied. And even more disturbing, field agents on the ground were overruled by bureaucrats in Washington. Now in 2025, Trump is not just a candidate, he's back in the White House, and he wants answers. How did the Secret Service let this happen? Who's responsible for nearly allowing a tragedy that could have changed the fate of a nation? And what changes are being proposed to make sure it never happens again? Let's break it down. What happened, who's to blame, and what this means for the future of American presidential security. What happened in Butler? It was supposed to be a routine stop on the campaign trail. July 13, 2024, Butler, Pennsylvania. A sunny afternoon, a crowd of thousands gathered to see then-candidate Donald Trump take the stage at an outdoor venue surrounded by office buildings and rooftops. As Trump began his speech, the atmosphere turned from hopeful to horrifying in a matter of seconds. Gunfire cracked through the air. Panic rippled through the crowd. Secret Service agents immediately formed a human wall and rushed Trump off the stage. One bullet, later recovered, had ricocheted off a steel barricade just feet from where Trump had been standing. The shooter, an individual now in custody, had reportedly taken a position in an unmonitored building nearby, one that local police had specifically flagged days earlier as a security risk with direct line of sight to the rally stage. The question everyone's asking now, why was nothing done? The facts show there were no rooftop sniper teams despite standard practice for open-air events, no drones scanning nearby structures, and perhaps worst of all, a disregarded alert from local police warning that the very building used by the shooter could pose a risk. This wasn't a minor oversight. It was a breakdown at every level. The Senate report's findings. A full year later, in July 2025, the Senate released its formal investigation. The verdict? The Butler incident wasn't just unfortunate, it was preventable. The Homeland Security Committee's 97-page report paints a damning picture of dysfunction inside the U.S. Secret Service, failed coordination between local law enforcement and federal protection teams, ignored intelligence submitted through official channels, and senior officials allegedly concerned more about optics than operational security. According to the report, the Butler police chief personally notified Secret Service liaisons that a building near the rally posed a risk, but that warning was reportedly dismissed as not credible by Secret Service headquarters in Washington, D.C. One internal document reveals a chilling summary. Known vulnerabilities were identified. Tactical enhancements were recommended. No action was taken. The committee concludes that the event at Butler represented a near-fatal collapse in interagency protection protocol, with responsibility spanning multiple levels of command. Who's being blamed? The Senate report doesn't just describe the failure, it names names. Two high-ranking Secret Service officials, whose names are blacked out in the public version, are at the center of the controversy. They're accused of blocking requests for additional surveillance resources despite multiple warnings from field agents. Leaked internal emails obtained by the committee show agents in Butler begging for reinforcement days before the rally. One email read, "Multiple red flags have emerged. Local PD intelligence suggests potential sightlines from 3 buildings. Recommend rooftop snipers and drone recon. Requesting approval as soon as possible." The response came back in a single line. Not approved. HQ resources constrained. Those decisions are now under intense scrutiny, not just by Congress, but by independent watchdog groups and law enforcement agencies nationwide. Calls for resignations are growing. Some lawmakers, like Senator Amanda Rich of Texas, are going further, pushing for criminal charges and a special prosecutor. Trump's reaction as sitting president. Trump didn't hold back. Taking to Truth Social just hours after the report dropped, he posted in all caps, "Total failure. I was almost killed. Every warning was ignored." Later that day, at a fiery press conference in Florida, he said, "This wasn't just about me. It was about the presidency. It was about what America represents. The people we trust to protect this office failed, and now they must be held accountable." Trump has since directed the Department of Homeland Security to begin a top-down review of Secret Service leadership. He's also pushing for a new independent division, separate from the traditional Secret Service, that would focus solely on campaign security with flexible rules of engagement and field-level authority. His critics say it's all part of a political show, but even among detractors, there's agreement. What happened in Butler should never have come that close to catastrophe. Secret Service under the microscope. This isn't the first time the Secret Service has made headlines for the wrong reasons. In recent decades, the agency has been marred by scandals and security breaches. In 2000, 2014, a knife-wielding intruder made it inside the White House. In 2022, the agency was accused of deleting text messages relevant to the Capitol riot investigation. In 2024, a presidential candidate was nearly assassinated on live TV. The Butler rally has reignited a debate. Is the Secret Service truly equipped for modern political threats? New proposals are now flooding Congress. Mandatory drone sweeps at all campaign events. Rooftop teams required at any venue with elevation risk, giving field agents direct command authority in crisis zones, removing the bottleneck from D.C. headquarters. Some proposals go even further, establishing an AI-based threat detection system or outsourcing certain duties to vetted private security firms. Meanwhile, whispers in Washington suggest that the classified section of the Senate report contains 2 additional near-miss incidents from 2024, ones the public has yet to hear about. If true, the Butler case may only be the tip of the iceberg. Public reaction, fury, support, and fear. Social media exploded. The hashtag #Secret Service fail was trending within hours. Trump loyalists were furious, claiming this was proof of a deep state plot, or at minimum, gross negligence. On Truth Social and X, posts called for mass firings, military oversight, and even the disbanding of the Secret Service. But the anger isn't just partisan. Former presidents, including George W. Bush and Barack Obama, have reportedly privately expressed concern over the future of their own security teams, especially during public appearances. One former Secret Service agent told NBC News, "If this happened under my watch, I would have resigned. This wasn't just a breach, it was a betrayal of duty. Some Americans are scared, others are demanding reform. Everyone seems to agree. The system, once the gold standard of protection, is now under serious doubt. What happens now?" Here's what's already in motion. 2 senior Secret Service officials have quietly resigned. Congressional hearings are scheduled for next month. A new task force is reviewing every protective detail from the 2024 election cycle. Trump, for his part, is planning an executive order that would create a campaign protection command center, reorganize Secret Service field protocols, and potentially authorize private security collaboration for high-risk candidates. Some call it paranoia, others call it progress. But one thing is certain, the line between protection and politics has never been thinner. And with the 2026 campaign cycle already heating up, the pressure is on. Every decision made now could determine whether future candidates are truly safe or walking into danger. The world is watching how America responds and whether its leaders will learn from a mistake that almost cost everything. Because next time, there might not be a second chance. And this time, the warning signs came too close to being a eulogy. So what do you think? Was this just another case of bureaucratic incompetence, or was it something far deeper? A warning sign that America's most trusted protective agency is no longer up to the task? Comment below with your thoughts. Smash the like button if you found this breakdown helpful. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell for more uncensored political analysis, real-time updates, and in-depth investigations. Until next time, stay informed, stay alert, and stay safe.